The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
Welcome to another segment of the UCW Radio Show, and this is your host, Lou, a.k.a. Falcon Coparis. And I want to thank our listeners again for the continued support just by listening to the show. We have some really special and great people on the show, and we're continuing to go strong. We're increasing syndication. We have a lot of great stuff going on. And I need to say this before I get into things today, as I've been for the past week, I'm going to say. We have opened the doors for sponsorship opportunities. So sponsors that are out there that want to align with the UCW radio show, just go to ucwmagazine.com and find out how you can align with us. We have a lot of great things going on. Just recently, we aligned, or we were appointed to be the host of the Ultimate Body radio show, which is associated with the Ultimate Body television reality series that's going to be it's going to be underway shortly. They have the final auditions on October 17th in Kissimmee, Florida. And actually, I should give you some information on that. The Ultimate Body TV show is being brought to you by the producer David Lyons. He's a great guy. He's a producer of Hog Heaven and Creepers, the animated feature. And also, he aligned himself with Lauren Alvarez. Now, for those that don't know her, she's also a producer, and she has been tagged with certain projects, and I'll name a few. Meet My Folks, Surreal Life, and The Osbourne. So if that doesn't tell you something here, nothing is. That's a great combination right there. The Ultimate Body TV show is a reality show where you have 13 men, 13 women. They all live in a mansion, and they're all competing for a grand prize of $50,000. But more over than that, they have a roof over their head. They're being given food. They're going to have the best doctors, medical care, chiropractors, anything that they need. They're going to be supplied with the nutritional supplements and everything. And on top of that, they're going to have the opportunity to get themselves together. When this is all said and done, they're going to be in the best shape of their lives. So, in short, if you're ever thought about getting involved in bodybuilding, if you're a guy that goes to the gym or a girl that goes to the gym, you say, you know what, I wanted to be a bodybuilder, but I never thought that I could. I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50. You know something? If you have it in you to get it done, you can get it done. And our guest today, well, she is the epitome or the poster child for getting things done no matter how old you are. And her story is fantastic. I'm looking forward to having her on the show today, and we'll get to her in a second. But I just want to go over the Ultimate Body TV show just for another second. I have to give you some information with that. The casting is October 17th. And that is the actual last casting. That's it. Final casting. That's Saturday, October 17th from 11 to 6 at the Ramada Orlando Celebration Resort and Convention Center, located at 635 West Earlo Bronson Highway, Kissimmee, Florida. The website is theultimatebodytvshow.com. And it's pretty fantastic. It's innovative, and really there's nothing out there like it. You put on TV, you put on VH1, MTV, all this stuff. You have all these reality shows, the real life, the surreal life, the this life, the that life, Rock the Bus, Rock on the Bus, Rock of Love, all this stuff that's out there. Yeah, The Biggest Loser is a great show. I like it. But, not everybody in the world is, 500 pounds. You have people that are regular people that are trying to, they want to try something. So this is one thing that you can do, and I promise you this, that it will change your life, no doubt about it. Okay, and when you go and you're in the mansion, you're doing your thing. You're not paying for it. So how often do you have the opportunity to actually get yourself in the best physical condition in your life for free? Food for thought. So that's the ultimatebodytvshow.com. And what else do we need to speak about? Something happened. I just want to touch on this because I thought it was interesting. A couple of days ago, and I actually passed judgment on this myself. There was a news announcement in New York that a girl at Hofstra University, she was allegedly gang raped by about 4 or 5 guys, and immediately these 4 or 5 guys got arrested. They were thrown in jail with I think a $350,000, a $500,000 bond, a bail set for each of them. And these are all kids that came from bad neighborhoods that are going to Hofstra. Interesting. Okay, but I did pass judgment. I'm the first to admit it. And when I heard that, I said it was disgusting. I thought that they were, garbage for doing that because they did get arrested. But you know something, and when I should have realized this, you never, everyone's, I guess the justice system is set up that you're innocent until proven guilty. And it seems that when someone gets in trouble for something, your first automatic reaction is to crucify them so that you're guilty until proven innocent. And that's not the way the system is set up. Lo and behold, it came out this morning that the girl lied about it. And that is horrible. That is a disgusting thing. And I just wanted to talk about that just briefly on this show because these poor kids, they had to go to jail for at least a day and a half for something they didn't do. Okay, I'm sure a lot of lawsuits are going to come out of that, but it's just amazing that something like that can happen. So anyway, let's move on. Before we bring our guest on the show, I need to let our listeners know this as well. Tonight, in a little while, it's very shortly, you have a red carpet event, and it's going to be for Lynch Mob the movie. It's a good movie. It's if you see the trailer, you'll know what I'm talking about. You have Tony Darrow from The Sopranos on there, Rachel and Scott Stamper, they're the screenwriters. This is their project. You have Byron Irwin, that is director, and he's great because he also directed and edited the film, so he put his heart and soul into it. And we had him on the show as well. But if you're in, I believe it's Conyers, Georgia, out on the outskirts of Atlanta, if you are over there, go to the Carmike Theater over there. Join the red carpet, because it's not often that you have a red carpet event like in Hollywood, but on the outskirts of Atlanta. All right, so you can get the information by going to lynchmobmovie.com, and I think you're going to enjoy the movie. From what I'm gathering, from what I see, and from what I see happening with this, is that this is going to be the next cult type of film. So it's interesting. I wouldn't miss the opportunity if I was you. And also for our listeners, if you want to call in, we encourage audience participation. Call in with your questions, your comments, things of that nature. You can give us a call at 323-952-4369. Give us a jingle, and let's hear from you. Let's see what you have to say. And again, I'm just going to touch on this again. We open the door for sponsorships, so advertisers, sponsors, things of that nature, marketers. If you want to align with us, the best time to do it is now. We have a lot of great things going on with increased syndication, and we have projects that we can't talk about now until everything's solidified, but things are getting jiggy. But it's a good time to align with the UCW radio show. And if you're on Twitter, you can shoot me out some questions, comments, whatever you want. My Twitter name is Louis Velazquez. That's Louis Velazquez. Follow me and tweet away. Now, without further ado, I want to patch in a lady, a woman. She is the spokesmodel for Gaspari Nutrition. She is an IFBB Bikini Pro. And she is truly an inspirational person. And she's waiting on the line right now. And I look forward to having her on the show, because I want our listeners to actually be inspired with her journey and her story. She's also part of the Ultimate Body TV show. That's why I know that the story of her journey is inspirational. Now, without further ado, here is Marzia Prince. Marcia, it's great to have you on the UCW radio show. It's a great pleasure. This is we've been trying to do this for the past couple of weeks, so finally we got you on here. So thanks for being with us here this afternoon.
Hey, Lou, thanks for having me. So I know our schedule's been conflicting lately, but hey, I'm glad we got it pulled together.
Yeah, we got it together finally. Holy cow! But we do appreciate the time that our guests put aside for us, and you're running around on flights and this and that, doing all this stuff because you're busy. And right now, probably busier than ever since June. Look, Marcia, you are an IFBB Bikini Pro.
Yep.
You've been featured in almost every top fitness magazine, globally. You were
Fortunately, yeah.
Yeah, fortunately, that's a good thing. You were Miss Bikini Universe in 2007. You're a Cooper certified personal trainer. You have your CPR certification, and to top all that off, you are the spokesperson / model for Gaspari Nutrition. But wait a second, there's more. There's more than that.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah, no. I mean, if I was to go through all your stuff, and it's like I'd get a headache. But you are one of the top celebrity trainers in the country.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
you are. And you're
it
also
all just started at 30 years old.
I know that's what I find amazing. And you're also a life coach.
Yes.
Okay, now, what for me, and you just mentioned it, for me, what I find more interesting about you, above all of that, above all of your accomplishments, is that this all started, when you were about 30. And I find that amazing. Now, with all that said, what I want to do is talk about your journey, because your journey, and after speaking with you before the show, and the stuff that I know, to this point, is pretty amazing. And not just fitness, but just who Marcia Prince is. That's what we want to know. So, if you don't mind, I like to start at the beginning. So, I like to know what prompted you to get into fitness, because there was a point before Gaspari Nutrition, before all that stuff, there was a point that you got into fitness. So
right.
I want to start there because I find that transition interesting because we spoke about it briefly. So I want our listeners to hear about this.
Well, how much time do you have? No,
we have all the time. Well, not all the time, but we have enough
no,
time.
I'm kidding. No, actually, I've always been into sports and fitness and stuff like that since I was in high school because I ran track and did volleyball. So that was like my first, dip into the whole fitness world. And I was like, wow, I like being active. It makes me feel good. I was part of a team. After I graduated high school, I wasn't ready to go to college yet. So I was kind of like, you just have to find your way and kind of grow as a person. So I decided to go to hairstylist school, and I became a hairdresser for 4 years.
Okay.
For me, it wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't my dream. It was fun, and I had a good time, but I thought, you know what, I have to go back to college and find out who I am. So I started college a little bit late. I was like 22, 23. I thought, well, let me go in there, figure out what I want to do. So I took my basics, and I'm like, you know what, I think I'm going to go into nursing since the medical field. I was, wasn't sure what in the medical field yet, but I thought, let me just go to school.
Okay,
see what I feel.
So you started being a hairstylist. You went to school for that. You didn't drop. You weren't a beauty school dropout. You actually finished, right?
I actually finished. Yeah, it was long. It was 9 months. Okay. You had to go 8 hours a day. Right. Cut hair. It was fun. I was 18, 19, so you had a good time doing that. Fixing your hair. Right. All that girl stuff.
Right, so. Well, I didn't know whether I needed to break into song or not and get into the grease thing, but I guess not.
Yeah. That's funny.
But
hey, back in those days, like the gay community was coming out and stuff. So we had a lot of gay guys in our school, and back then it was like really cool. If you have a gay guy next to you, you're like, oh, we have so and so. So, we had a couple of gay guys I was pretty good friends with, and they make it fun when you're going through that, and you work at a salon, and I don't know. It was a I was a child. I was 18, 19, going through life discovery, having a good time.
Right.
4 years later into it, I thought, okay, this is a job.
Right.
It's fun, but I'm over it. I need to do something that's more fulfilling for me.
So you're still seeking something greater because you knew there was something greater out there for you. You just didn't know what it was.
Didn't know what it was.
Right.
And back then, I was going to like aerobics class. I belonged to a gym, but I wasn't like fully into fitness yet. So it was just when I was like, I got to go to the gym, do some cardio, but it wasn't serious.
Okay.
So. And then went to college, and then I took like basic weight training, took my nutrition class for nursing. You have to take these prerequisites before going to nursing school.
Okay.
So, I love the anatomy and physiology. I made straight A's in that. That was fascinating to me, how the muscles work with the body, what the systems do. So I knew I was fascinated in that whole area. But as soon as I got to nursing school, I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. Right. And at the time, I was dating my husband, who's, he was in his last year of law school. And, I was trying to figure it out. And he was like, why don't you just become a trainer? You're 3 years into college. You don't seem like you're really happy with what degree you're picking. He goes, just become a fitness trainer and see where it goes from there. And at the time, I was...
that's a good man by his side. He's
yeah, oh yeah.
This is all his fault.
Oh yeah, it's all his fault. Well, I was going to the gym, or if I had a friend, I'm like, hey, you want to meet at the gym? Right. So, he knew my passion was going to gym, working out. I would either take a kickboxing class, a step class. I had a trainer at the time. I was dabbling into weight training. So, it was kind of a mix of stuff, but I hadn't really, I would say, solidified what I wanted to do in the fitness world yet. So I was still learning the whole fitness thing, because there's so many genres to fitness. And I just dabbled a little bit into bodybuilding. Not that I'm a bodybuilder myself, but being tall and thin, I worked with a trainer who was a bodybuilder. So he was like, oh, let's put some muscle on you. You're like 110 and you're 5'9", you're a stick. And then I started looking at myself, well, maybe I am a stick. I am skinny. So we started building. I noticed that I went from a little stick, and I was getting shapely. And then I was getting a six-pack. And then I was like, wow, I do look good. So that really intrigued me, And then through the nursing school, I transitioned to become a personal trainer. So I went to Cooper Institute, and that's where I got certified as a personal trainer. And actually, Kenneth Cooper, he's the one who termed the very first term of aerobics.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, the Cooper Institute. So he was the one who named, the work aerobic. He did all the studies about the heart and how if you worked out, it was better for your heart. So this is like back in the day.
Oh, so he's like, so that's a pioneer right there. So he coined the, I guess the phrase, or used the terminology aerobics.
Yes, he did. Okay. He did. So very fascinating. Read all that. So I decided to go there and get certified. And, my first experience going into it, obviously it's a learning experience. You have to get a lot of certifications. So through all my certifications, it's like life coaching, prenatal, postnatal, working with geriatrics over 65. So, as a personal trainer, you have to go more extensively in it, because when you go through personal training certification, they don't teach you how to be a coach.
Right.
They tell you what to do, but not to be a coach. So I wanted to be a better coach for my clients when I train them, because you have a goal and you want them to get to the goal.
And that's the important thing, and I want our listeners to really hold on to that, because what you're talking about is not just, well, let me go train you and get you into shape. No, you go deeper than that. Well, you have some trainers, you go to a gym, they'll train you to do this, do that, and to teach you how to do the exercise, teach you how this may work for you, that may work for you, but are they teaching you how to be a better you? And that's what you do.
Right. So, and not only does fitness affect your health, it pours into your life, and it helps you set goals. Because after I've helped people change their life, they use the same life coaching tools and skills that I give them for other stuff, like their work, their home, and it applies to everything. So, it's just getting to a goal, setting a goal, and working towards that goal. So I felt like that was important. I read a lot of motivational books, books on discipline, and one of my favorite ones is Larry Winget. Have you ever heard of Larry Winget?
No, that I haven't.
Oh, he's like the irritational...
I have a feeling I should.
Oh my gosh. If you ever get a chance to interview him, you need to interview him. But anyways, his book is called Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life,
I like him.
So,
let's get him on the show.
I love him.
Now we have to get him on here, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. He's kind of that, no bull, I'm going to tell you how it is. Quit whining. So, and I can appreciate, because when I first started training people, I was like, oh, let's do this, and I was all soft-spoken. But then, after years of being a trainer, it really hardens you. You hear so many excuses. Yeah. Then you don't put up with crap. And then you're like, okay, I've heard this before. And then you just kind of ignore it, and then you move on. So people are like, whoa, they're taken back by how honest you are to them. I'm like, you know what?
But you know what it is, and I want to interject here, because you know this, but I want listeners to know this, that when you go to a trainer, a real trainer, not one of these guys that are just working in the gym and that's their job, that what you do is what you do, but a real trainer that you bring in to help you enhance your life, when you do that and you bring them on, they're your advisor, they're your consultant, they're bringing you on for you to get better health, better get your mind together, everything else. So when you use all these excuses, I was too tired, I went to a wedding, then you're not serious. Don't waste your money going to a trainer, because what happens is you're wasting the trainer's time.
Right, right.
You know, because it's not about just solely about money, and I just want to voice that because it's not just about paying the trainer to go do this. What it comes down to, okay, the trainers, your gratification you get satisfied when you see progress with your clients.
Right, right.
And that's why all these celebrities come to you.
Right, and I'm really strict. When they come to me, I'm like, okay, what is your goal? And I can tell if they're serious in our first initial meeting how serious they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if they're saying excuses, I could, now that I've been in it for many years, I could see them in the chair just like lying, like their excuses come out, and you're just like blah 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 blah. But you know, the ones that are serious, you can tell they're serious, and we work towards their goal. Because I will not take anybody on that's not serious.
No.
I mean, granted, there's people that need a little bit extra push and help, and that's fine. And I've helped people change like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people I didn't think I could ever pull them out of it, and boom, they showed me 4 months later. So, you know, sometimes you can read people, sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
But most of the time, like I said, I can. 90% of the time I can't. So it's been a learning process being a trainer, and I think every person that comes to me, they all have individual stories, different baggage from life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's learning to work with it because every person's different.
Sure.
So it's been actually an awesome experience. I was meant for this job, so I don't regret it one bit. I'm glad I did the life change.
Yeah, but that's fantastic. And one thing as a personal trainer is that you're dealing with so many different personalities.
Oh yeah.
So you know, it's like you're teaching. Well, you're doing it on an individual basis, but it's like any type of teacher. You're out there. You have a whole bunch of people, different personalities. You know, whether you're running a big business, whatever it is, and it's hard to deal with that, but you're able to, which is fantastic, and your clients benefit. Your clients benefit from your life experiences, what you went through, your desire, your passion for life, and you know basically what's going on with you, because you practice what you preach, and that's a big thing.
Oh yeah.
And they see that. They see that.
Right, and people are at different places of the life. You know what I mean? So when they come to me, they're wanting help.
Right.
Okay. Some people think they want it, and then they don't when they know how much hard work goes into it. Some people are like, this isn't for me. I don't want to do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I've had some trainers, some clients, they're on a waiting list for me just to come in. And I only train a certain amount of people because I'm so busy. So I have my clients here, and once they know the tools, knowledge, and skills I give them, then they can move on their own and apply it to their life.
Mm-hmm.
So I have this huge waiting list, and people are like, oh, my gosh, I can't believe how demanding you are on the stuff that you need, because I require food logs and measurements and pictures. I mean, it's every single month. You're on the ball.
Right.
So anyone steps off the program, like off my steps, then I feel like they're disrespecting me.
Yeah, and they're wasting your time.
Right.
Yeah, because the way you do everything with all your certifications, everything you've done, and all the education that's involved with you. Your job is to go take the person. Okay, I'm your life coach. I'm your personal trainer. I'm gonna help you become a better you. And if they don't let you do that, then you're gonna get frustrated, and it's not good for anyone.
Right. And I know there's a certain amount. You know, everyone's busy, so I am busy too. That's why if I put the time into you, invest it into you, and you need to invest the time in me. And this is the rules. This is what you need to do. I mean, I do lots of fun stuff, like on the side, extracurricular, that I don't even charge them for. Like I take them on a grocery store tour, and take them to the grocery store and show them how to read labels, introduce them to new products if they haven't heard any, just give them tips and facts. You know, and other than that, then come to my house, watch me prepare my meals, because some people really don't get it unless they visually see it. Some people are visual learners. So some people are audio learners. It just depends. So it's like anything I can do to connect with that person to reach their goals, I will help them reach their goals.
I would say that you put yourself way into your job, and you know what? More power to your clients, because they're going to get the full benefit of you.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. Well, what I like to do is I want our listeners to understand how you evolved, because when you're doing the nursing thing, you got into personal training and you started doing that. At some point in time, you know, you got the gig with Gaspari Nutrition.
Right.
Now I find that story, you know, interesting, amusing, the whole 9 yards. But why don't you let our listeners know how that came about, and how sometimes things in life just happen when they're supposed to happen?
Sure. It was a couple years into my personal training. Just discovering my clients and battling their stuff, I needed to know more about nutrition. So I went to get my nutrition certification. Well, I learned a lot through that program, got certified, and I thought I'd play around with nutrition. I hired this other trainer to help me out, to push me to my goals. And the bodybuilding world is different than the fitness world. They're two different genres. So, and it's always kind of intrigued me just because I've worked with a bodybuilder trainer before. So I was talking with him. We played around with my diet to get me lean, because there's a certain amount of protein you need and carbs, and you cycle it and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, long story short, 12 weeks later, after my program, my nutrition program, I was at my best physical top shape ever. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go get a photo shoot, shoot with some photographer, capture my body at its best. Here I am, 30 years old, and I'm in my best physical shape.
And you were doing that for you?
Yes, I was doing it just for me. I was a personal trainer. I mean, I walk the walk, talk the talk, but I wanted to be lean. I wanted to, like, be ripped with a six-pack, but feminine, you know. I had, like I said, I'm 5'9", 135 now, but back then, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, it was probably like 120, you know. So I was like 15 pounds lighter. So it's just, it takes years to put on muscle. So I was in the process of learning to put on a little bit more muscle tone. So, and, you know, 5'9", 120, that's pretty thin. So people see me like, oh, you're so skinny, you know. And, you know, and I could eat anything, but it's eating the right type of foods to build the muscle and to burn the fat and to maintain it. So it's been a learning process for me. So I went to a photographer, shot with him, came out with these fantastic pictures. And it was like the best pictures I've ever had in my entire life. Like you know, when you shoot with a good photographer that has great lighting, you know, great Photoshop skills, you know, you send it to you and they're just like, you're blown away. Because, I mean, I've shot with photographers before, you know, but they weren't high-quality photographers. And I was going out to spend the money to shoot with an awesome photographer. And let me say, that was the changing point of my life. So I shoot with this photographer, and he's like, wow, Marzia, these are great. You're photogenic and da-da-da. He was like, can I put them on my website and for advertisement, and I'll give you a free photo shoot? And I said, hey, let's do it. So here he goes, puts them on the website. You know, I shoot with him again. And at that time, when I was 30, Gasparri Nutrition was looking for a spokesmodel for their company. So they were looking for a beautiful girl for their ads that was fit and toned, not too muscly, not too soft, not your typical bikini girl. And they came across my picture, and they asked the photographer, and they emailed them. They said, hey, who is this girl? You know, we want to use her for our ads. And, you know, he's like, oh, I just shot with this. She's a personal trainer from Texas, blah, blah, blah. And basically, they bought my images first to use for the advertisements before they met me. About 6 months later, they invited me out to the Arnold, and I was like, sure, let's go. So I went out to the Arnold and, you know, worked the booth for them. And they actually loved the Texas personality, and they were like, all right, I think we're going to sign you on. And I was like, what? And it was my first intro, actually, I would say, of any kind of convention for, like, the bodybuilding. So it was definitely a different world for me.
Yeah, but it's amazing, and this is why I wanted you to tell that story, because you weren't looking to go get sponsored. You weren't looking to be a spokesmodel for anybody. You were just doing your thing.
Right. I was.
And this fell in your lap, which actually changed your life.
It did change my life. And, you know, I was, of course, at 30, you're thinking, oh, you're over the hill for a model. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I was like, what? Who wants me? What is this all about? And so I'm learning in this world of fitness/bodybuilding, you can actually be any age. There's no cap on the age. I mean, you could be 40, you could be 50. So you have people like Denise Austin, you know, you have Toscarino, who's 49. I mean, it's incredible. The age, there's like no cap on age for women. I mean, even men. So like Ronnie Coleman, he won at 40 years old, Mr. Olympia. So I was just like, wow, I guess you can be in your 30s and keep modeling going on. So yeah, so it just kind of fell into my lap, and I thought, well, hey, let's just go with the flow, and it was kind of an adventure. So I was like, all right, went on a couple conventions that year and did some work with them as far as print ads. And then when I was 32, I decided I was going to train for Miss Bikini Universe. I saw an ad in the fitness magazine, and I was like, hey, what the heck, let me try it out.
But I have a question about that.
Sure.
I have a question about that, actually. So I'll let you tell the story. You saw the ad, you signed up, but before you get into your experience there, I have a question for you.
What's that?
Okay, the question is, and I find this, okay, I mean, people think they see you on stage, they see you competing, they see this footage. I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested is in this. When you went to the 2007 Miss Bikini Universe, when you competed, what, about 122 other women from around the world, not just from Texas or wherever, from around the world were in that competition. Okay, so when you were there, and you were, I mean, these girls were ranging from anywhere from the age of 18 to 35, right?
Right.
How did it feel? Not when you were on stage. How did it feel to be in the back before everything started?
Wow, let me tell you, it was nerve-wracking from when you go to registration to signing in.
You get your number.
There's so many people. I mean, you have the friends and family, and there's 122 people you have at this meeting that you go to. Mm-hmm. So between friends and family, I was just like, wow, I was like overwhelmed with all these people, and you go sign in. Mm-hmm. You know, and at the time, I didn't know who was going to be there. You know, I signed up for it. I didn't know there was going to be 122 girls. It was in Miami. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I was like overwhelmed when I saw like 4 or 5 fitness stars that I looked up to that were in this competition. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh, wow, I'm competing with so-and-so I've looked up to in the magazines for 3 or 4 years. So for me, I was just overwhelmed and starstruck and all the above. So just the whole learning experience being back there, it's definitely an experience when you go through it. One I've never experienced before. So go to the meeting, you know, thought, okay, this is going to be great. Of course, you know, you're nervous. You know, you train so hard for 12 weeks. You're on this diet and stuff, you know, and you think, oh, I look good. And then you get there. Of course, you see all your competition. And everyone's beautiful in their own way.
And this was your first competition.
Right.
Okay.
So you kind of size yourself up to everybody else, and you kind of, oh, no, I can't think like that. You know, I gotta practice what I preach with my life coaching skills and my tools, you know. But that kind of goes out the window when you see everybody else.
Yeah, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, right. You're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to stay focused here. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's kind of hard. And then, you know, since I've done a couple things with Gaspari, a couple people recognized me from there, like, oh, you're that girl from the Gaspari ad, you know. So, like, nobody knows your name or anything like that. They just kind of like, oh, you're that girl. So I'm like, oh, wow, somebody knows me. Yeah, sure. So at the time, Gaspari Nutrition, you know, was kind of still was up and coming. They're getting up there. Now they're big time. But at that point, too, it was like both of us were kind of, you know, they're getting up there. And I was just kind of doing my thing.
But for people, to interrupt you for a second, people that don't know what Gaspari Nutrition is, that was founded by Rich Gaspari. He's a Hall of Famer in bodybuilding. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yes, he is. He just got awarded the Life Achievement Award from Ben Weider.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I remember he used to compete against Lee Haney way back when, and he always was on top of his game.
And he was famous for the most striated glutes. Like, he's the one who, you know, coined the striated glutes for the industry. So
I remember that picture in, what was it, in Muscle and Fitness, because I was on a train, I was looking at it, and it was kind of weird. I was looking at a guy's ass while I'm on a train, but it was like, it was shredded, but
right, you're looking at some guy's ass, but in a different way, right?
Yeah, in a different way, but you know, people that don't know anything about bodybuilding, like, what's up with this guy?
Yes, definitely. You're looking at the entire physique.
Yeah, exactly. But
I've learned to look at it differently. The men, you know, the male physique when you're competing.
Yeah, you get a different view of how people are. You know, unless you're in that lifestyle of doing that, it's hard. You know, people just don't have that eye for it, which you do, because this is your life.
Right, and it takes time. Like I said, I didn't know it going into it, but learning through the process, now I have appreciation when I see hard work, and it's like, wow. When you see somebody, you're like, oh, man, look how much hard work they put in their body. Yeah. Whereas before, you know, even like I have women right now, when they see men, you know, they're all ripped and strides, they're like, gross! But, you know, I'm like, wait a minute, you know, you don't know what goes into their look like that. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, of course, without a doubt. Now, let's go back to the competition, because I did interrupt you.
Oh, no, fine. So signed up for the registration, and then all of a sudden the next day we had to go compete. So we're getting our suits on. I'm backstage, and, you know, it's just very nerve-wracking with all the people backstage. I mean, there's 122 girls. You know, they have hairstylists and makeup artists, and some of the girls had those gay guy pageant walkers back there, you know, helping them walk, learning to walk in high heels. So you're watching all this going on, and you're just like, wow, you know. And, you know, they have different classes. Like, they have the short class, the medium class, and then the tall class. of course the short class goes on. And backstage, yeah, you're nervous, but it's so time consuming. It's a lot of downtime. So you're just kind of sitting there and waiting, and it's like the more you're back there, either two things: you get really bored and you can't wait to go on. You get to that point, and then you get really nervous when you start getting close, when it's your class, and you're like, oh my god, it's here, And girls are pumping up backstage. So, and I didn't know about pumping up backstage. They're bringing their resistant bands, they're doing push-ups and sit-ups, So I'm like, oh, we gotta do this? Is this the protocol? So I'm like getting down, pumping out some sit-ups, doing some glute squeezes, trying to get ready for stage. So, no, I mean, it's just really, really nerve-wracking throughout your first competition experience. But you have to say, everybody was nice back there. They try to help you out, and whoever you're sitting next to trying to get ready, if they've competed before, they're giving you tips. So I did appreciate that, because they know you're the new girl. Like, have you competed before? No. Well, let me help you out here. This is what happens, blah, blah, blah. So, I did appreciate nobody was catty, any of that, like you hear of pageant girls in Miss America. It wasn't like that. So everybody's kind of like appreciating everybody's physique,
Well,
so
there's a lot of hard work, and everybody understands all the work that goes into it.
Yeah, because I think they've either done it before. They're really, I have to say, I mean, back there, the camaraderie is awesome. So, I mean, I was expecting them to be real rude and feeling uncomfortable. No, I just think I was more nervous of, like, who my competition was versus, like, oh, are they going to do this to me backstage? But, I mean, they're nice to you. Even the ones that you were, like, kind of intimidated by, they came up to you and talked to you and stuff. So, yeah, so backstage, everybody just kind of comforted each other, and you feel a little better about it, and they're making small talk and stuff. You're trying to kill time. And then you just go on stage, and it's just like one of those things where it's like, here it is, that final moment, you work so hard for. So you just kind of like,
it's like,
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you're watching everybody go up, and you're just kind of peeking to the side backstage with the curtain, and kind of seeing what everyone's doing before you go up, have your turn on stage. So I have to say, even though I went on stage, my knees were still knocking, and when you're smiling, it's like, your lip starts quivering, and you have no control of it. And it's like, and, you're thinking, oh, my God, try to act natural. But, you only can do the best you can. So, I went out there and tried to take my time and smile and do my turns, and it came back out. But it feels like it goes so fast, And then you question yourself after you get off stage, like, oh, my God, did I do good? Did I do bad? How'd I do,
But then at the end of the day, after that whole ordeal, you won.
Yeah, and it's kind of a funny story. So I go on stage, do my little thing, get off.
Right. They
tally up the scores. They call the top 10 back, So I'm like, oh. And at this point, for some reason, I didn't feel like I did good. I was like, oh, I didn't do well.
But they called it the top 10 in all classes.
Yes, top 10 in all classes.
Okay.
And I was in the tall class, being 5'9". And, I didn't feel like I did well. And plus, at the same time, I was intimidated because there was 3 or 4 fitness stars that have been in the magazines up in my class. So I'm like, oh, it's not happening to me. So I thought, oh, well, next year, let me just, I was learning the ropes. I can't be too hard on myself. So you go on stage, they announce us, I'm in the top 10. So I'm like, woo, like, okay, this is exciting. This is very exciting. So the top 10 have to go through their spiel, the whole thing. And then they award the top 5 in each class, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I ended up winning my class. I was like, whoa, so that was quite shocking.
So
and
right
then
there, you're beating out the people that you looked up to in the magazines and everything at that point.
Right. And when, I'm in the top 10 in my class, and they're like in the 5th place, 4th, 3rd, the winner of the tall class. I'm standing there, and there's like another fitness star that hadn't called her yet. And I thought, oh no, she's got it. So I just kind of stood there. I spaced out and smiled. I was standing in my position with my hand on my hip. And, and they say my name wrong. And so I kind of stand there and I'm like, doo-doo-doo. And then the girl next to me kind of shakes me and goes, that's you. They called your number. And I'm like, what? So I'm like walking on stage and they're waving me over. And it was like I was in slow motion. I was like, whoa, they called me. So, I went on stage, got my, walked to the front of the stage, got my trophy and award, and then they decided to do all classes, short, medium, and tall. And then I ended up winning the tall. So it was one of those moments in life I'll never forget. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm 32 years old, and I just won Miss Bikini Universe, like what are the chances?
Yeah, and that's your first show going on there competing with girls from, actually women from the age of 18 to 35, 122 from around the world. Some of these women were on in all types of magazines, like you are now. Is that like they were back then? And,
right.
And you come off with the crown. There's
right.
nothing better than that. It must have felt surreal though.
It did. I feel like it was, like I was in a different world, and I was on a high for like a week after that. I couldn't stop smiling, So, and like my husband, he couldn't even believe it. He was like, "Whoa, what are the chances?" He was sitting there like 2 rows back, just like in shock and awe when they called my name. So, yeah, it was kind of like one of those things like, "Whoa, what just happened?"
And he couldn't just say, "Yeah, I knew you had it in you." No, he had to say, "Wow, I was shocked."
No, he was quite shocked. Oh, yeah, he was like, whoa, So, I mean, even then he said, he was critiquing me, and I'm like, tell me the honest critique. How do I walk on stage? You kind of want to know your feedback,
Right.
And then even the people, like, stood around you and stuff, they kind of like, did you see me? How did I do? They're asking you the same thing. So, and you're kind of like, I don't know, I blocked it out,
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. It's a cool story. But that just shows that, sometimes you're meant to do certain things. Because this whole situation, and it's interesting, it just fell into your lap. You didn't seek it out. And we have a lot of guests on the show that they don't seek out what they're doing now. It just happens for them because they're supposed to.
Right. I believe that. I mean, there was like a fire burning inside of me. I didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And, you kind of look for that to be feel completed, whether it's a job or a partner, and you have like these lists of, goals in your head and things that you want to accomplish before your life is over.
Right.
And you just kind of speak it out. Some of us take a little longer in life to find it than others. So, I mean, I didn't go out and find it at 18, 19, and boom. It was like, it took me many years. I feel like it happened for a reason, and maybe it was my time. Maybe I was mature enough for it, or, whatever the case was.
Well, if this would have happened when you were 25, more than likely, it would have been a different story for you because you wouldn't appreciate it, because you would not have evolved as a person, and you probably wouldn't have appreciated it as much as you do now.
Right. And so I feel like that at 32 was a defining moment in my life.
Yeah.
And, just that whole week, it was just making me think like, you know what, if I can do this, anybody can do this, And I guess also, too, as a woman, you're always defined by age, and now I feel like nowadays, it's not a big issue, like they say 40 is the new 30 and blah, blah, blah. Women are coming to their own in their 30s.
Yeah.
So, and I reflect back at my 20s, I feel like that was definitely the age of discovery for me and finding out who I am, and I have to go through different life experiences to be the person I am today.
Right.
So.
But the 40 is a new 30, and I guess 30 is a new 20. I guess, I don't know. As long as
whatever the case is. But I mean, I believe it's taking care of yourself, and how you present yourself. So.
But you have to, believe. You have to take care of yourself. You have to live. Period. And I say this to everyone. Too many people, they don't take care of themselves. They let themselves go out of shape, and they're not happy in their lives, and this, that. The other thing, if you're not happy, find your happiness. You have to.
I mean, it's out there somewhere. If you don't like what you're doing right now, there's something out there you do like. I mean, find something. I mean, if you do it for a hobby for the moment until you can make it a career or whatever. So, like fitness was my hobby and passion, but I wasn't seeking anything out to have a career. And then when I got to fitness, it was all, being a trainer, it was starting to fall in place. And all of a sudden, boom, from the competition to the signing with Gaspari, I mean, now it's like, I feel like it's all coming together, this year especially.
Yeah, the puzzles, the puzzle was being put together. And, look, again, I'll go and give kudos to your hubby, because he was the one that said, hey, he put the thought in your head, hey, you should do this.
Well, here's the thing about that, too. Yeah, he is. I do give him kudos on that. At the time I was going to nursing school, he was in his last year of law school. He had told me he had dated a nurse, and was like, before me, and he was like, you know what, she wasn't very happy with it. She worked all these crazy hours, and I thought, well, I can handle it. I'm one of those strong women, like, I can do it. He was like, I don't know, she's done it for a while, and you may not be happy in it. You might find something you're really upbeat. You want to find something that you really like. Is it really nursing? It's kind of like, I don't know. And plus, my grandmother and my mother are both nurses.
Oh.
So I was kind of like trying to follow that path, I guess. Like, oh, maybe I need to get a real job and really do this. But the more I got into it, obviously, it wasn't what I wanted to do. I knew it had to do with body and health and somewhere around there. But I wasn't sure until now. I'm like, oh, okay, this was what I was meant to do.
So in other words, he was just throwing hints at you and saying, yeah, you know, I went out with a nurse, and I really don't want to go out with another nurse. So that's what it all came down. That's what I think.
Maybe he had such a bad experience. Obviously, I mean, here he is with me, you know.
Well, you know he's gonna hear this. He's gonna say, "Who is this guy? Oh my God, I'm assuming." No lawsuits here, buddy boy. We don't want that.
Nah, he's very, very cool. We're really good friends. You know what? We actually got set up on a blind date.
Oh, really? That's how it worked out? That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was our first and last blind date, and it ended up working out. So,
That's cool.
And at the same time, he's like my husband and my lover. We're actually best friends. We're good friends.
There's nothing better than that, because that allows you and him to build a life together, even though you have your separate stuff going on. You guys work together as a team.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. And we believe
awesome.
that. It's like,
that
you need your thing, I need my thing, we'll do our thing together.
I love it. I love it, because that right there, you're happy in your situation. If you're happy in your situation, you guys can conquer the world.
Yeah, we've been together 6.5 years.
Good for you.
So, yeah, and it's still going strong. So I just feel like the best is yet to come for us. So,
I love
he's
that
enjoying
attitude.
all this fitness stuff with me.
Yeah, you know why? Because he goes to the shows. He's like, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing?"
Right?
Yeah.
Lots of eye candy. Lots of eye candy.
Yeah,
he's going to Olympia next week with me. So.
Oh, is he? Cool.
Yeah, he's going to enjoy that.
Oh yeah, he's gonna enjoy that, especially when he sees like Tina Chandler or something. He's gonna be like, "Yeah, I love my wife. Don't hurt me."
Right. That's funny.
But that's cool though, because you guys work together as a unit. And you get through everything, and yeah, you're right. You know, your life's just going to get better and better and better. And with the stuff you accomplish now, is only the beginning. You know,
right.
one thing that you stated that you felt like your life started when you got the Gaspari gig, but more so when you won that show. Yeah,
when I won that show, I felt like I said, the puzzle pieces were falling together. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was really sure of myself. I was, becoming a woman, mm-hmm. becoming more confident, right. Especially with my body. So it shows, if you're confident with your body, and being a personal trainer in my job, I was refining my skills in that. Like I said, the pieces were coming together. Right. I just felt, I was on top of the world. Like, okay. But yet at the same time, you feel accomplished, but I was wanting more. You know what I mean? I was burning like, well, I'm not done yet. There's more out there for me than just this. I'm not done completing just a competition and, all these certifications. I still need to keep going on. So
you went from you made fitness not only your lifestyle but your business. You made it your life. Period. The end.
Right.
Okay, and one thing I'm curious about, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm just curious about it, and I'm sure our listeners are curious to have this answer too, because you went through your journey, all right, and you went through a lot of stuff, nursing, this, that, all this stuff, and I think it's really great. When you won that 2007 Miss Bikini Universe, and you saw things, and the picture started coming together for you, did you feel like you had a chapter that was closing and another chapter was opening, or was it more like you were rewriting your book?
I would have to say rewriting a book, okay. Like rewriting my life.
Right.
And at the same time, it was opening a new chapter. It was definitely one of those moments in life where about 32, 33, where I was like, wow, this mm-hmm. is life. This is awesome. And I kind of appreciated life a little bit more than I did, I guess, when I was in my 20s. You're kind of going through life trying to figure it out that you don't really appreciate life. Yeah. So, and I have a 27-year-old sister, and I can see her struggling with life right now. And I look back, and I'm like, wow, that was me. But you got to let her learn her own experiences
right.
to get where she, for her to be at her point. So it was definitely personal growth.
Right, and everyone has to find that. They have to find their own path. And you can, there's an old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Sure.
And that holds true even with you and your personal training. You can bring somebody, a friend of mine, he's a pro bodybuilder, Jack London is his name, and he goes and he'll go train someone, or somebody will ask him for advice and say, I want to get myself in tip-top shape and this and that, and he'll say, okay, he'll sit down with him and say, okay, what do you want to do? He says, I want to do this, do that. He says, okay, well, we have to figure it out. And they say, but you know what? I have 2 weddings to go to, and I don't know, I have to do this and have to do that. And what happens? He walks away because they're not serious.
No, they're not serious. I get the same thing with my clients too, and especially the moms that have like PTA events, Halloween coming up, and they have all these, school functions mm-hmm. and stuff. So they blame, I had this, that, and it's like 8 weeks of stuff, and then. And I tell women it takes roughly 12 to 24 weeks to change. They're like, well, I don't have that time. I'm like, no, you have the time. We have to overcome your obstacles. There are going to be obstacles. So we set out this calendar, like of 3 months, and we lay it out, and we see where they're having like birthday parties, social events, weddings, and we lay it out. And I try to let them know, this is what you need to do, to break that barrier. Because if not, I mean, life is full of holidays, social events. Sure. You're never going to have 12 free weeks ever. You know what I mean? So especially with kids, it's time consuming. So they take your time, and then you get tired, and this and that, and then you don't want to work out, and then you don't want to eat good, so you get something fast. So, I work with a lot of women, and women, I mean, I hear every excuse, and I know when they're not serious. So it's just like, no. And I tell them it's an excuse, and then they kind of look at you like they're offended. But I'm like, no, I've heard this before. If I can do it and overcome obstacles, you can do it. So.
Well, we're going to talk about the Ultimate Body TV show in a second, but talking about overcoming obstacles, there are people that are there by your side that overcame a lot of stuff. But we'll get into that in a second, because right now we're talking about you. We'll talk about them in a second. But you went pro this past June. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. How'd that feel? Because that must have been something amazing, because you got your pro card.
Right. Well, like I said, I was at Bikini Universe, and that's a different organization. And being involved with Gaspari Nutrition, Rich Gaspari was an IFBB pro back in the day. Now he's an IFBB judge. But as a fitness, spokesmodel for Gaspari, I wanted to be involved in IFBB, but didn't know how. Well, they never had a bikini category. They just came up with the bikini category this year. And I had to do Bikini Universe, and I did Fame. It was an organization, and I won that year in 2008, won my pro card there. But like I said, I didn't have the genetics for figure, because putting muscle on my body is hard, and it's too much work. I'd be in the gym for 8 hours a day, just trying to build muscle. And I just have a different physique genetically. So I'm just like, God, what can I do? Well, long story short, last year they came up to me, Rich Gaspari and Joe Volge, which he's a VP of marketing for Gaspari, and he said, hey, they're thinking about doing a bikini category for the IFBB. I was like, oh my God, I could finally be involved in this. So basically, it came around this year, and they had all the national qualifiers to qualify for a national competition. I entered in April. I did the Europa Super Show in Orlando, and I won the qualifier. Got qualified for nationals, and my first one I did was a junior USA's, because there's different national competitions. I think there's maybe 10, I want to say, in a year for the pros. So they came up with and actually the IFBB bikini category hadn't been refined yet. So we didn't know what they were looking for, what type of bikini, what type of tan, what type of body. So it was still up in the air. So we know that IFBB, though, is looking for more of a muscular bikini type. You weren't going to be a soft bikini. So basically, the first show I went, I was a junior USA's, and I got second in tall class. And it was learning the ropes. And somebody had interviewed me, and they were like, oh, was it, heartbreaking to get second in tall? I'm like, heartbreaking? I thought it was pretty good getting second in tall class. So, no, it was definitely a learning experience. It was different from any other organization. And then I won my pro card in June. I went to the Junior Nationals in Chicago, won the tall class, and then I won the overall. So.
Oh, there you go. See?
Yeah.
Now you showed them.
Yeah.
How did it feel to come in second? But if you came in 10th, that'd be a different story. How did it feel?
Well, it's like I had 2 interviews, and it's just, I guess it's up to the interviewer how they interview you. And the first one was like, was it disheartening getting second? I'm like, are you kidding me? I got second. That's not bad.
You see, I'm glad you said that. I'm going to say something, because too many times, and it bothers me how people, when they do interviews and the media and stuff, they're always looking for that negative spin on things.
You're right. You're right. It's like, sorry, buddy, I don't see the glass half full. I see it overflowing. You may see it half empty, but hey, I look at the positive. Hey, I got second. I worked hard to get there. My husband, he watched me bust my ass for 8 weeks to get there, from competition to competition.
Sure.
So, and, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it. Everyone's partying, doing this and that, and, I'll go, and I have to, sorry guys, I have to go to bed early. I got to go train in the morning. I got to do my morning cardio. So, I've got to pack my meals. There's a lot, behind the scenes that goes involved to having a great physique, and looking good and all that kind of stuff. So
it's not easy because it's not
no,
easy.
it's not easy, and it's a lot of sacrifice. Especially with working and doing extra like photo shoots here and photo shoots there, and flying out of town. I have to bring it together.
Yeah, and you're walking around with your meals packed on the plane because you can't eat the crap in the airport, you can't eat the crap here, there, and it's difficult.
Right. I mean, I pack all my food. I pre-make my food usually on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights, so that way I have it fresh, and it's all by 4 to 5, 6 meals a day, depending on how long the days are. So,
but that's pretty cool because you do all that. You only have to cook twice a week.
Yeah.
Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal.
No dirty dishes there. That's good.
Right. So I was like 34 years old winning my pro card. So it was kind of like, wow, I'm actually an IFBB Bikini Pro. Woohoo!
Yeah, but that's great. And our listeners to hear something like that, that's telling them, that's telling anyone that, hey, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can accomplish things in your life still, and keep pushing and keep reaching for that brass ring. Is there if you want it. It's there if you want it, and for anyone.
Yeah, I believe so at any age, especially, like I said, in the fitness and bodybuilding world, you can be any age. And so many times I'll be at a convention doing some booth work, and some girl will come up to me and, oh, I like you, I aspire to be like you, give me great compliments. They're like, well, I'm just too old. And I'm like, well, how old are you? And they're like 30 or 31. And I'm like, do you not read my age? I'm 34, or I'm 32 or whatever. I'm like, it doesn't matter what age you are. You can do it. Right. And they kind of like, whoa, oh my God, are you serious? I'm like, yes. You can complete anything at any age. So like I said, a lot of women have that gives a stereotype that, you're too old if you're turning 30. So I'm like, get over that.
It's too easy to quit. That's why.
Yeah, it is easy to quit. You're right.
I mean, that's easy. That's easy. I mean, take the hard road and try to do something. That's where your satisfaction, that's where your gratification comes. When you learn how to struggle, yeah, you may fail. So fail 10 times. You succeed one time, you're doing good.
Right. I mean, I have good days and bad days. Sure. And there's bad days where you're like, oh, you're exhausted from training or, eating chicken or fish, and you're just like, oh, I don't want to do this. But then you know what? The next day you wake up and it's a different day.
Yeah, so, no doubt about it.
Right. Just keep pressing forward.
Now we're going to go and we're going to press forward. You ready for this?
All right.
Now let's talk about, before we get into some projects you have going on, because I really want to get into the projects. I want our listeners to hear about that. One of the big projects that you have lined up, and we briefly touched on it. I didn't mention it yet, but I'm going to mention it now. You're involved in the Ultimate Body TV show. It's a reality show that comes from the mind of David Lyons. He created, or he's a producer of Hog Heaven, which is on cable TV. Great guy, but he also overcame adversity. He had MS, competed, and he was diagnosed with MS in his mid-40s, and he decided not to sit in the corner and just cry about it. He actually competed in his first bodybuilding competition this year. Yeah,
oh yeah. I mean, so you've talked to him. I've heard you guys interview. Isn't he not an amazing person?
Oh yeah, he is. He is an amazing person. I mean, he has full blown MS. The doctor said, you know what, you may not be able to walk. You may not be able to do this. And he's like, okay. He told me just he waited a couple of months. He said no. He said I'm going to go and I'm going to compete. And that's exactly what he did. And he pushed forward and he made it happen. And he looks fantastic.
Oh, he does. And he was like, I'm going to do this without drugs and blah, blah, and I'm going to go. I'm just going to do it with food and exercise. I was like... And
let me touch on this. You said without drugs. We're not talking about enhancements. We're talking about without MS drugs.
That's right. That's right.
Okay? And that's a big thing. And he did it. And he's still doing it. And now he said, he wants to share this with the world. So the Ultimate Body show, reality show, is upon us right now. And you're involved with it. You have another inspirational guy, the natural Mr. Universe, Doug Burns. He's involved with it, and he's another guy that overcame adversity. He has type 1 diabetes.
I know, amazing people.
Yeah, I know, and he became Mr. Universe. It's like, okay, you went from 55 pounds at 12, and now you're over here, and he's a big to-do, but he's inspirational. And he still lives with this every day, same way that Dave does, same every day. And your story is amazing too, so you fall into that. And then of course we have to go mention Rich Gaspari again, but he's also involved in this. And he's a guest judge. judge on the show. And then you also have Bob Cicciarello, the voice of the Mr. Olympia. He's also involved. So,
right.
Can't this get any better?
It's like an amazing cast of people, and David Lyon, he's such an amazing producer, and he was handpicking people that he felt he had a connection with that will make the show great.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came across Rich, they said we needed, a woman on the show, woman judge, celebrity/trainer, someone in the industry, and they were like, hey, actually Liz Gaspari, which is Rich's wife,
mm-hmm.
she's the one who suggested me. It was like, oh, well, wait, you got to have Marzia. She's got an amazing story. You'll connect with her really well, blah, blah, blah. So next thing you know, David called me, and him and I had this instant connection, talked about the Ultimate Body, and I was like, wow, this is totally going to work.
Yeah.
This is right up my alley. So.
But this right here, this competition, and I mentioned it on the show a number of times because as everyone, all our listeners know, that the UCW radio show is the officially, as of I believe yesterday when the press release came out, we're officially hosting the Ultimate Body radio show.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm in deep. I'm right there with you.
All right,
so
cool.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, but I like the project. I like everything that's happening, and what I said on one of the earlier shows is that you watch TV, you see the reality shows, you see Rock of Love, Rock of this, The Bus, this, that. We have some of these people on the show, Big Brother, and all this other stuff, and The Biggest Loser, all these things going on. This is the first time. This is the first bodybuilding reality show.
Right, and then it's different. Like, I'm a big fan of The Biggest Loser, and it's like 65% of the U.S. is overweight. Of that 65, like 35 are obese.
I love that show. I love it.
Yeah, I love that show too, and I think it's great that they help the obese. But there wasn't any show out there like for the average Joe to get in shape, because not everybody is obese. I mean, yes, people are overweight, 20, 30 pounds. So they're taking basically the average Joe, and they're living in a mansion, they're getting trained for 12 to 13 weeks and catapulting them to bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. So, or maybe someone who has been working out their entire life and they never reached their fitness goals because they're doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. They're not meeting all the components of, weightlifting, eating, sleeping, all that good stuff, supplements. There's a lot more that goes into it. Right. So, so they're about to get 12 to 13 weeks of hardcore nutrition, working out, cardio, supplements, food. Trainers in their face. Right. I mean, it's going to be pretty intense.
But here goes the key thing with that, and I said this on one of the shows, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because I know I'm not wrong, but you can't correct me. But I know you're not going to correct me, so I'm going to talk anyway. But when you're an amateur bodybuilder, you're making $0. You're actually losing money because you're buying your supplements. You're training hard. You have to pay for your gym. You have to do this, do that. And if you need a doctor or a chiropractor, that's extra money. If you don't have insurance and you have this and that, all this stuff going on, then you got to do all your food and everything else. That's all an expense. Then you go compete. You may be an amateur for 5 years and get $0. With this show, you're living in a mansion. You're getting free food. Sure. Gaspari Nutrition is providing all the vitamins and all the nutritional stuff. You have a personal trainer free of charge, a doctor free of charge, chiropractor free of charge, probably a psychiatrist there free of charge. You get everything there free of charge for you to get better. And on top of everything, you're not even an amateur bodybuilder. But you know something? You have the ability to go win $50,000 at the end of this deal. 13 men, 13 women, $50,000. And then you get a spread in Muscle Magazine. What did you have to go through, you personally, to get on the cover of a magazine? A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. You got years into it.
Right, and this right here is being handed to you on a silver platter.
Within 12 weeks.
Yeah, like, come on, please. Sometimes it takes you 12 years before you get mentioned. Still nobody talks about me, but that's okay.
Yeah, you're going to breathe, eat, and sleep. Anything to do with fitness and bodybuilding.
Yeah,
boom, right there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know what? And above all that, and all that fun stuff, because most people, when they go on a reality show, they think, I'm going to be a reality star. That's great. Be a reality star, but you know something? Instead of making a fool out of yourself, do something productive. This is a show where you can do something productive.
Right, right. And plus, you're going to enjoy this journey. I mean, it's a hard, long road. You're going to learn a lot about yourself throughout it.
Yeah.
Because we're giving you the tools, the knowledge, and skills. Mm-hmm. So when you're done with this bodybuilding show, boom, you can go on and do it yourself.
Right, and then again on top of that, for those that are looking for the fame and everything, yeah, you can get it. You can get it being on the show, but more importantly, you are going to change your life. You're going to change your life by being on the show. Now, on October 17th is the final audition for everybody. It's going to be in Kissimmee, Florida. You're going to be there, right?
Yes, I will be there.
Because I will be there too. And,
you will?
Yeah, I will be there.
All right, I got to meet you.
Yeah, for sure. And then you got Rich Caspari is going to be there, Bob Cicciarello, David Lyons, Lauren Alvarez. I believe she's going to be there too. She was a producer of the Osbournes, The Surreal Life. And a few other high-end reality shows. This is why, and I keep saying this, and even David said, you're right about certain things. I know I'm right, because I know that this show's starting now, but I do know that you have longevity here.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this can be this can be a show that'll be in its 10th season. I see it already. And the thing is, you can only be the first on the first show one time.
Right.
Okay, so in season 2, you can't say, well, I was on the very first season, because then you're in season 2, then you're kind of, you missed the boat, and it's only once a year, so, but there's a lot of great things, and I know that it's going to get better as things start rolling forward. How often, can you go into a reality show and meet you, Marzia Prince, Doug Burns, Rich Caspari, Bob Cicciarello, meet producers like David Lyons, Lauren Alvarez, all these other people. You're going to have all these people in one place, and they're there, and all these doctors and chiropractors, they're there to help these people to reach a different level in their life.
Right.
So it's a great thing, I think.
Oh yeah, and then you've had those people that have dreamed of doing this, and then helping them with their dreams, whether they win the show or not. Yeah.
Just to do it, just to go and do it and give it a shot. You know why? Because at the end of the day, what are you losing? Nothing. You're gaining. Even if you don't win, you still gain.
I believe so too.
All right. Let me just give that website to people, because I give it every show, but I have to continue to do it because some people forget.
Yeah.
But it's the ultimatebodytvshow.com. It's a must do if you want to get into bodybuilding. And if you don't have, some people may not have the money to do X, Y, Z. This is an opportunity. Make $50,000.
Yeah.
I do it, but I'm doing a radio show, so I can't do it. So
You're like, I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm
You're working for the show now.
I know, I am. My God, I know. I have stuff to do. Now, all right, so that's great, and I think that's going to be a blockbuster thing, and that's something that you guys are going to be connected to for a long time. And now that we talked about that, now I want to talk about the more stuff that you're involved with.
Oh gosh, I'm like, I have so much going on. No.
No, but you do. You have a lot of stuff going on, and I really want to let it out because you have appearances. You have a cookbook coming out next year, which I want to read. You have all that stuff going on, so hit me with it. Let's bring it on.
Well, ever since the 2007 Miss Bikini Universe, I've been in a ton of magazines like Planet Muscle, Natural Muscle, Muscular Development. I've been a couple times too.
Last week you were on the cover of a magazine.
Yes, that was Natural Muscle.
Yeah.
That was my second cover.
Cool.
So, it's like the magazine has been 2 years straight. So I'm more in the fitness magazines more than I ever imagined. I was like, wow, this is awesome. So between all the magazine work I've coming up, its appearances, I'll be at the Olympia next week.
Right.
So my cookbook and book come out next year, early 2010. Mm-hmm. And it has a whole chapter in my cookbook called "There's Got to Be a Better Way." We're talking about whey protein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just drinking the whey protein with water and like a protein scoop.
Right.
I've come up with 25 different protein recipes, protein brownies and cookies and you name it. So where it tastes good and it doesn't have a bunch of junk in it.
That's big stuff, because let me tell you something. Years and years ago, you had your protein shakes and everything, because I used to drink it, and you have your weight gain, your protein, this and that. I remember, I'm just going to interject with just a personal story, because I have nightmares about this. There was a bodybuilder. He was a competitive bodybuilder, and he tells me, okay, you know what, you're doing this, doing that. You're looking to compete everything. I said, yeah, I'm looking to do this. I'm a young kid. I'm 18, 19. And he says, well, you need to drink this. And I didn't know what it was. He tells me to go buy this can. And I have no clue what it was. It was brown. He said, this is protein. And I think it was some whey protein from way back then.
Right.
And he said, you take it, you put it in milk, and you drink it. I said, all right. I took it, put it in milk, and I threw up because it was the nastiest thing on the planet. But now they make better product.
Oh, let me tell you, my favorite is the Gaspari Nutrition Intra-Pro Whey Protein Powder, the double chocolate. It tastes like chocolate milk. And I don't do it with milk. I do it with water.
Right.
Shake it up with water. It's so delicious. I can't even explain how delicious it is. But, so now all the recipes that I've made have obviously have Gaspari's Whey Protein Powder in it because they have the best tasting protein powder. There's like all these different protein powders I've tasted, and there's some that are great and some that are bad. So, it just depends on what fits your needs and goals. But
they have a lot of they have a lot of good products in their product line. I know that, and they work. And I'm not getting paid by Gaspari Nutrition or anything. I'm just saying they work. Because one day I was in a store and I saw something. It was a little capsule, a little pack, nitrogen thing or something.
Right.
So I did. I bought it. And it said you can only take it once every couple of days. I said, what the hell is this?
You're talking about plasma jet.
I don't know. Yeah, plasma jet. I said, what the hell is this?
That's a specially nitric oxide product. Yeah, that's the bomb.
I took it. I was like, boom. I said, all right, this is good. It works. Feeling good. I'm going out tonight.
Well, they have a Marzia Prince Lean and Fit Stack for the perfect bikini body. They came up with that because there's 3 products that I absolutely love with Gaspari Nutrition that I trained with when I did Miss Bikini Universe that they came up with that stack. They named it after me.
Oh, cool.
So we came up with those 3 products. And then today, it's kind of a funny story. We're talking about protein powder. Right. I ran out of my double chocolate Intra-Pro. So I call up Joe from Gaspari Nutrition. I'm like, hey, Joe, can you send me some more Intra-Pro, blah, blah, blah. And he writes me back. He's like, we're out of chocolate. Will any other flavor do? I'm like, no, a girl's got to have her chocolate. So I'm like in desperate need of chocolate. So I was like, when you're dieting, you want to counteract these obstacles. So instead of cheating on a candy bar, I'd rather have like a protein shake or something else. But I make stuff with it, like a protein brownie. Right. So I was like, oh no! I went to the vitamin shop and bought their Intra-Pro Whey Protein Powder and came home with it.
Well, you see what happens. But you know something? Gaspari, look, their product line, as I said earlier, is the real deal because it's not you don't have, and this is where it's different than other brands because you have scientifically engineered products. But how many guys? I think Lee Labrada is doing something, but how many guys were there that went through eating all the crap? Like I ate that stuff.
Yeah, they did.
And he learned. He said, I don't like the way that. I know he said it. I know he said this. And he's going to be on the show, too. So when I get him on here, I'm going to bring this up because I know way back when I was eating that crap. So now you're making a better product that people can actually enjoy, and they're going to use it. And if you like, and you're satisfying your taste buds for chocolate, this and that, but it's good stuff, and you're not eating, as you said, a candy bar or a Hershey's Kiss, or whatever you're doing, and you're not cheating that way or going for your Godiva chocolate way. I know a lot of people fall. Me too. I love Godiva chocolate, but you fall into that. This gives you options where you can eat healthier and also have the taste satisfaction.
Right. And let me tell you, Gaspari Nutrition definitely has the athlete down to a science. And Rich is one of those people that's like, I am going to make the best supplements out there. So, and he has amazing stories. So when you listen to story, I mean, it's just one of those, you just sit there listening to him. You can't stop. You're just like looking at him like, oh my God. And the first time I heard a story, we were on a seminar and he was telling everybody else. I heard it from him, but didn't hear it in depth like he was telling the seminar. And I was just, my jaw was dropped. Like, he's an amazing person. Him and Liz both.
Well, that's why when he comes on the show, he's going to tell us his whole story. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'll let him tell you that.
Yeah, let him tell us that because then you're going to blow it. We don't want that much.
Yeah, I don't want to blow it.
We don't want that stuff. So now, all right. So now, do you have any you have any appearances coming up that I'm sure that people want to see you. They want to meet and greet you going to the Olympia. What else as far as where you're going to be?
Well, the main ones, like 2 of the year, they're like the Super Bowls, I would say, of the bodybuilding world, is the Olympia, which is next week, and then the Arnold is next March. But I do have a couple small appearances at like vitamin shops and GNCs. I think my next one will be in Chicago the week after for like Capital Discount Nutrition. So I will be there in Chicago. And after that, I have a photo shoot. So it's just like from there, it's like appearances, photo shoot, and then of course October 17th, I'll be at the auditions for the Ultimate Body Reality Show. Right. and then I get a little break for about a month, and then in January it's like hardcore training again.
Yeah,
so
then you have to get ready for everything that you have going on.
Yeah, well, at the end of March, I believe that they haven't set an official date yet, but all the pro girls are going to compete for the IFBB. So the bikini part.
Oh, really? Oh, so they're actually gonna have like an Olympia type of thing for the bikini stuff.
Yes. So like all this year, since it's such a brand new category, that
maybe they'll unleash it at the Arnold.
We're hoping so, and that's the rumor, but nothing's in stone yet. So, like, I think they're going to have anywhere from like 15 to 30 pro bikini girls from this year. Like, everyone who's got their pro card is going to be competing next year.
Oh, well, your husband's going to be happy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm going.
Oh, he always goes to stuff. The last one he went to was in Vegas. We were at the UFC. So, Gaspari Nutrition, we were at the UFC convention.
You guys went up there? Are you guys going to be in New York? They have another convention going on here, I think, in October.
Is it for the Team Universe?
No, it's not the Team Universe. It's something that has to do with mixed martial arts, I believe.
I'm not really sure.
Well, if you guys aren't going to be there, then it's not worth talking about. We won't even.
Right, I have no idea. So I just know like what I'm doing with them, and we're also doing international too. So.
Cool.
Stuff in Sweden, there's South Africa, Germany.
And you travel to
Poland.
all these places.
I haven't internationally yet. They just asked me this year. So
look, that's incredible. Look, and I got to say it is, Marzia. Look, you went from going to nursing school.
Right.
Okay. First you were doing hair, beauty school dropout. You were doing that thing over there. Okay.
Beauty school dropout.
Yeah, you were doing that stuff, and you went to nursing. Your hubby puts a little, little bird in your ear and says, "Oh, you should do this," because, even though he was trying to push you in one direction, I know where his head was. I know what he was thinking. He's like, "I don't want to be with another nurse." But anyway, so you go, you do that, and then you start going into fitness. You start doing all this stuff, and look at you now. You're going to be traveling internationally for a great company, meeting and greeting people from continent to continent. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you'd be doing that?
No. It is surreal.
It's incredible.
Like I said, I'm very grateful for this entire journey. And everything I've done up to this point, I feel is definitely a learning experience.
Wow. So it's amazing stuff. It's amazing stuff.
It is. And the bodybuilding world today isn't what it was back 20 years ago. We've advanced since then with better, supplements, and the bodies are different this time. So I don't know. I have a real appreciation for it.
Yeah, it's a different animal, but everyone evolves. As a person, they evolve in business. Things do evolve, and the industry itself evolved from what it was back then. Back then, you just had the one major magazine, Muscle and Fitness. You had Muscle Mag, and then that's what you had. But now you have all types of stuff out there. The internet as well, brings everything together. So there's so much opportunity for anyone that wants to get into fitness and do stuff. And I with that, as you said, you can be any age and get it done.
You can.
And
whether you stick with the fitness, I feel like if you do set goals, it pours into your personal life.
Yeah, and as we talked about the Ultimate Body Show, for people that just want to get involved in bodybuilding just to do it and better themselves, what better opportunity? I wish I had that when I was involved in bodybuilding. I wish I had that, because then I would have did something like that.
Right, and I think David Lyons coming up with that concept for reality show is ingenious. I mean, he's tapped into a different market that, hadn't been thought of yet.
It's scary, huh?
Yeah, it is scary. And plus, now bodybuilding is more mainstream than what it used to be. Back then, everyone had the stereotype that they were, eating chicken and beef all day long and, flexing their muscles and, steroids and all that stuff. And some, granted, there's the bad people out there that make us look bad. But if people come out to Olympia and the Arnold to see, they'll see it's totally different.
Sure. And there's a misconception, and I am having a lot of fitness people and bodybuilders on the show. Like this week, Samir Banut was supposed to be on the show. He is going to be on. I actually have to call him up. Sweetheart of a guy, Mr. Olympia, a couple times over, and we even talk about stuff. Now people think that bodybuilders are big morons, but they're not.
No.
Far from it, because you basically become your own brand and you become your own business.
Right.
Okay, and now you're marketing yourself. So yeah, it takes a lot of brain capacity to do everything that you're doing to make money in this industry.
Oh yeah, and many of the bodybuilders that I know is like Rich Gaspari. Look at him. Look where he came from.
Yeah.
You know, look how he succeeded.
Yeah.
Lee Labrada, all those people. I mean, it's incredible. People think, oh, big meathead.
But these two guys, in their time, were two of the most underrated bodybuilders that should have made it and absorbed that whole at that time, the whole bodybuilding world at that time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But with Gaspari, Lee Haney there, and I guess you have politics. I don't care what anybody says. It's politics.
Sure.
He should have won that 2-3 times, and I'm not saying that because he's going to be on the Ultimate Body Show, and I'm not being biased with that. It's the truth because I was there at that time, so I know.
Well, I believe everything is politics, and also it's personal opinion when you judge stuff.
Sure.
So it's subjective.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. But you know what? He's doing his thing now. So who's having the last laugh?
Right.
You
it's
go,
like, hey,
Rich.
look at me now.
Yeah, you go, Rich. Don't let anybody hold you back. But that's fantastic. All right, Marzia, let's talk about your websites and stuff, and how people can keep in touch with you, because your future is so bright.
Well, thanks. I feel like I'm just getting started, everybody.
Yeah, you're just ramping up, and you're just ramping up. You've accomplished more over the past 4 years than most people that live fitness have done in their life.
Well, you know what? I thank you. I mean, I have to agree. Like, people, I don't realize it until someone interviews me for interview, and they're like, "Do you realize you're a bikini model in a bodybuilding world, and you've survived it for 4 years?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute, I am. I guess so." But I'm not your typical regular bikini model where you're just look good in a bikini,
Right.
So, like, my sister has great genetics, and she's 27, is thin, but she doesn't live the lifestyle, and she looks great in a bikini. But, now that I'm older and I have to work at it and eat better, I have an appreciation for it. And I'm like, you're right, I bust my butt to look like this, and it's a lot of hard work. And, yeah, I can't believe here I am. I'm one of the pioneers in bikini for bodybuilding history, and I'm actually, taken back by it. And this month in Oxygen, there was a write-up about me, saying that I had just a pinch of muscle and great tone for the IFBB Bikini, and that's what they were looking for. And I held myself, very classy for the whole competition and blah, blah, blah. Because obviously people have this misconception about that and stuff. So, it's some crazy bikini contest. That's not the case. It's very serious business in the bodybuilding world when you're being judged. Sure,
without a doubt. And one thing, and I'm going to state this because I even talked about, with the Ultimate Body Show, that, you can only do that one time. As far as being a first time, like when the big event happens with the IFBB and the bikini contest, and then not the bikini contest, bikini competition. Okay, contest was a bad choice of words, but competition. When that happens, and you have a strong possibility of winning that, I mean that's the first time that they're going to have that.
Right.
So it's like if you look at the Mr. Olympia, okay. When you win that, or with the first couple, like Arnold, we won. Lee Haney, people, honestly, look, the reality is, if you're not in bodybuilding, you don't know who he is.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry, Lee, but that's the way it is. Okay, but Arnold, look at what he did. If he didn't do all that stuff, nobody would know him. But
he's the one who brought it more mainstream.
Right. He was, and the funny thing about him, and I'm just going to talk about him for just a second before we get into your website. The funny thing about him is that he, like you, and like most people that I have on the show, he had a vision of that he wanted to aspire to greater things. So he sacrificed for himself and went out there and did it. Okay, and he came across the right people. Things just fell in his lap, and the one person that helped him was Lucille Ball. And it's very interesting how all that worked out for him.
Huh.
And look at him now, the governor of California. I mean, you got a poor kid from Austria. Could be the governor of California. He could have ran for president of the United States if they didn't stop him because he wasn't born here.
Right.
But it's an amazing story.
It is. He's very powerful. He's just driven. Very driven. His whole personality. Right,
but he's driven, had a vision, reached out for it, wasn't afraid. When you got into this, you know what? It fell into your lap. But then once you saw it, you said, "Whoa, wait a second. Yeah, I want it all."
Yeah, I'm like, this isn't it. I'm not capping out here, and the more stuff that comes and, I accomplish this, accomplish that.
Right.
It's just like you have this fire burning inside you, and it's
Sure.
just like, okay, I'm going to help everybody else. I'm going to keep going, be the best I can be in this industry. If this is my career, my job, I'm going to excel. I'm not just going to give it half-ass. I'm going for the gold,
And you're only starting, and that's the beauty of it. You just started.
I believe so too.
Yeah, you just started, and your future's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter. And I know that somewhere down the line, I mean, you're going to have your cookbooks, of course, all that stuff. You're going to have a whole line of books. You're going to have your own product line. You're going to have your own clothing line. You're going to have so many things going on that it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to be able to come in 10 years and say, you know what? This was the story of your life, and I'm gonna bring you when I at that point I'll have my TV show and stuff. So I'll bring you on. And I'll say you're gonna tell everybody a story, and that's where things get interesting. But your future is bright. Now, since I interrupted you with the Arnold thing because that was just a thought of mine, our listeners they need to follow your journey. So how do they do that? You have a website, MySpace, this, that. Talk to us.
Actually, I have it all. So, but if you just go to Marzia Prince, M-A-R-Z, like zebra, I-A, Prince.com, I have all my social networks there where you can click on MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I have my own blog up there to let you know where I'll be for appearances, when my book is coming out. If you need to contact me for any fitness questions, online training, competition tips, or even if you want to be trained online for a competition, let me know, and I'll get a hold of you from there. So.
Oh, so you do that as well. That if someone's going to train, let's say they live in, I don't know, in Idaho, and they're going to do a competition, they can actually talk to you online and get their information like that.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, cool.
Everything is specialized, customized for the client.
Oh, I like that. So you don't even have to be in their face.
No, I've done it many times already. So.
Okay. Oh, and it works out. That's great. So
now. Yeah, and when I won the Junior Nationals this past year, the girl that won fourth, I had trained her online.
Oh, nice. See, that's a testament to how good you are.
I know. I'm like waiting for her testimonial because we have pictures together and stuff. So my new website is up. It's not finished yet. We still have to have my shop and my gallery and add a few more testimonials to it. But, yeah, you can go to MarciaPrince.com and for all your fitness needs and goals.
Okay, cool. And what about the Gaspari nutrition site? You want to give that as well?
Yeah, you can go to GaspariNutrition.com. And check out, they have the Marzia Prince Ladies Lean and Fit Stack. If you're a guy, they have the anabolic stack that Rich has, and there's like 4 products. They have tons of products, great stuff. It's worth it even if you want to go get samples from them. They'll give you samples.
Cool.
So they're real catering to the public. I mean, everybody, because they want you to excel in fitness. So
if you're going to do it, you get the best.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what you do. You get the best, and he's been there. He's been down that road, and he's doing his thing. And if you want to get the best stuff out there, Gaspari Nutrition is the way to go. And again, that's not me being biased because he has to do with the show. It's just a reality. And David Lyons brought together a team of the best, and that's what it comes down to, and that's what he did.
Right. No, I'm actually so excited and grateful to be part of his show. I mean. He actually saw something in me and was like, wow, you have a great story. We connect well. I mean, he obviously feeds off the energy of everybody else. He has such a great personality. And his personality, I mean, talking to him, he's like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. He's a go-getter. He's very driven.
Yeah, but he's also going through, stuff, and you would never know.
Yeah, you would never know.
You would never know.
Unless he tells you, I mean, you would never know.
Right,
so.
And that's why, I just find him to be amazing. And what I find, and I know, we're going a little over on the show, but I just want to say this as well, that, I appreciate how you are, because you're not sitting there kicking back in your chair saying, I'm Marzia Prince. This is who I am. This is what I've done. No, you're humble. No, but let me tell you something. There are people that get like that. I have people, and I'm just me personally, that I go and I say, okay, I think their story's interesting. Let me bring them on the show. And I get in touch with them. And they have, and I just laugh, and I do laugh about it. They say, well, I don't know. I may consider it. I'll think about it and get back to you. You're going to think about it. I'm giving you a platform to tell your story. You're going to think about it and get back to me. you know.
Right.
And it's
right.
like, you know, are you putting yourself that high in the mountain? I have, you know, look at who's on the show. These people don't come on the show because, and I'm not being arrogant about it, but they don't come on the show, you know, because they're putting themselves on a mountain. They come on the show because they want to tell the story, and people need to hear these stories. Just like
I believe so too.
Yeah.
I mean, someone needs to hear that, and sometimes I forget that I motivate people sometimes. You know, I get down on myself, like have a good day or bad day. You know, that I keep pressing forward. You know, then someone will come up to me, or I'll get an email, you know, saying, "Oh, Marzia, you inspired me," and I'm like, "Wow, you know, I can't believe I'm still doing that from afar." So.
But that's good. But I love stuff like that, because you can be and having the worst day in the world. If you see someone, and I know that you're this type of person, you see someone that maybe needs a little, you know, push me up, that you do it, no matter how bad you feel in your life.
Right.
You'll go and give them a little push up, or give them a little boost in their confidence, and you know, you go about your day.
And you don't realize those little words of encouragement for them is huge.
But yeah, no doubt about it. Some people do need that in their life. And, you know, Marzia, I think you're doing a great job in, you know, representing Gaspari Nutrition. I know you're going to do a great job in the Ultimate Body Show, the Body TV show. I know that you're going to continue to evolve and prosper and grow within the fitness industry. And I also know that you're going to inspire people all over the world, not just in Texas, not just in the United States, globally. Because, you know, with the internet and everything else, you have that reach, but it's how you are as a person which impresses me. That's what I said in the beginning of the show, is not what you accomplished, is who you are, and how everything evolved, and the type of person you are right now. Because most people, if they had a different state of mind or frame of mind, doing what you've done, they'd probably, you know, put their nose up in the air and walk around and not talk to anyone.
True.
And it does happen, but you're real. You're a real person, and I appreciate
that. But there's instances, you know, where it makes you humble, you know? So you just kind of go back, and it's very humbling.
Yeah.
So.
But you have to keep yourself like that, because it just allows you to do greater things, and people do adhere to that, and they do understand that, because you become human, because you become like everyone else, and that's okay.
Right.
And that's a good place to be, because we're all human, and you know, you've accomplished things, but now you're telling people you can do it too, and they can do it, and that's fantastic. Marzia, is there anything that I'm missing that we haven't gone over that you want to touch on before we sign off today?
No, I mean, I think that's it. I just want to thank you for having me on the show, and I want to thank David Lyons for picking me as a female judge, and I want to thank Gaspari Nutrition, Rich and Liz, you know, for my whole journey with them, and for them continuing to help the bodybuilding world succeed, and setting a good example. And also Joe from Gaspari Nutrition, he's the VP of marketing that discovered me. I mean, him and I actually are 4 years later, we're pretty good friends.
That's cool.
Yeah, my husband for putting up with me for all the many years.
yeah, but you know, we go back to your husband. I know what his motivation was in the beginning, and I'm leaving it at that. Okay.
No, I just want to thank all the bodybuilding and fitness fans out there for keeping the sport alive. So.
Well, I mean, you have, and you know, it's fun. I have to say this, you know, like bodybuilding, Hollywood, stuff like that. You know, you have an industry. You have respect for your industry. We had Phil Morris. He was on Smallville. He was on Seinfeld. He was a lawyer on Seinfeld. Sweetheart of a guy. No one would know that he's been training in martial arts for the past, you know, couple of decades. You know, he's a good guy, sweetheart. One thing that he said to me, and this rings in my, it always rings since I talked to him, but I knew it before. But when I spoke to him the other day, it's like all day it's ringing in my head. He said, you know, what you put into it is what you get out. How you are and how the integrity that you have as a person and the respect you have for your industry is going to show, and you're going to work harder for what you love.
I can agree with that.
And that's what you're doing, and that's what he does. And anyone, again, most everybody on the show, on the UCW radio show, they all have the same thought process. And I find that interesting, because that right there should be inspirational to anyone. Just do what you have to do, make it happen.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
That's it. Marzia, I want to thank you again for taking this time today. I know we were trying to get everything hooked up. Finally did, and I'm actually honor to have had you on the show. Yeah, you're welcome, but I thank you because you gave me the opportunity, to have you tell your story and for us to interact like this. And I think, as I said, that you have a lot of great things lined up. And what I want to do, because I know next year when the IFBB, they do have their bikini competition, the big one, like the Olympia for that particular area. After you win that, yeah, I'm saying it now.
Cross your fingers for me.
Yeah, no, if that happens at the Arnold, I'll be there. Cause trust me, I'm going to be with the martial arts contingent. Yeah, you got it covered. Don't worry about that. but yeah, when you go there, I want to have you back in the show because and you will be on the Ultimate Body radio show. But I want you back on the UCW radio show. I want to get some updates of what's going on and really, continue to tell your journey so our listeners can follow this because I find it inspirational for myself and for our listeners that maybe need that and say, hey, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it.
Oh, thanks. I would definitely love to come back on the show.
Awesome. I love that. Marzia, again, thank you so much. And I know you have things to do, and you probably have to get on a flight to do something or eat a meal. I don't want to hold you up anymore, but I appreciate your time. And I'll be seeing you October 17th in Kissimmee, Florida, at the Ultimate Body, the last audition, the Ultimate Body Show, last audition. And just let me leave this at this. Anyone that wants to audition, you have to fill out the application. That's the ultimatebodytvshow.com. Check it out. It's something that you don't want to miss. Again, Marzia, thank you so much, and you have yourself a great day.
All right. Thank you, Lou. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.